Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Monadrose, and we're here to talk about everything reality TV. We're going to talk about Big Brother. Just so you guys know, there's spoilers in this. We're going to talk about who got head of household. We're going to talk about who the nominees are, what the game plan is going into the veto. So if you do not want spoilers, I suggest that you pause the video and come back and watch it after you've watched Sunday night's episode. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. Can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Alright, let's get started. So I did tell you spoiler alert, so if you don't want any spoilers, you're running out of time. Alright, so we have a new HOH. The new HOH is Felicia. Yes, Miss Felicia has gotten the HOH. It sounds like it was some kind of competition where they had to throw a ball against some bumpers or something and get specific numbers. We've seen that in the past in different varieties of the game, but that's what it sounds like they played for the HOH game. And Miss Felicia came out on top. It's going to be a bumpy week, I think. We'll see. She is now the oldest female to ever have won head of household. She is actually the second oldest person. The first oldest was Jerry McDonald. I believe he was in either 8 or 10 he was in. I don't remember which season specifically. And then the third is Cliff Hogg from season 21. So it's Jerry, Miss Felicia, and then Mr. Cliff. Season 21. So, Izzy and Suri are talking. And right after Miss Felicia is crowned. And Izzy says, do you think she'll be up for backdooring Heisem? And Suri says, she better be. I think Miss Felicia is one that you're gonna kind of tread lightly, because if she feels like you're coming to run her HOH, I have a feeling that your head would be on the block so fast you wouldn't see it coming. So they've got to be careful in how they handle Miss Felicia and what needs to be done this week. So Suri said she better be. And she said, I think she should put up Cameron and Jag. Or she said, I think she should put up Cameron with either Jag or Blue. They are so happy. They are so excited that Felicia won. And they're going to let Felicia tell America what she's going to do. But then Izzy can't wait. She's got to broadcast it to America. What's going to happen this week? So they're thinking putting up Cameron and Jag. That way Cameron will fight for his life, come down. Or Jag will fight for his life, come down. And they can backdoor Heisem. The have-nots were also picked during the veto competition. It sounds like the bottom 3 scores. And that was America, Red, and Matt. So Matt is a have-not again. This is his second go-around. Heisem, Izzy, and Suri are talking. And Heisem is just going on and on. He is dancing around. He is just so happy that Felicia won this week, that it's going to be a chilled week. It's going to be a laid back week. It's going to be such a relaxing week for them. And the whole time I'm thinking, if you only knew what was going on in the background, you would be so scared right now. But it's a good thing that he doesn't. So he doesn't see it coming. Jack confronted Cameron about him talking to the other side of the house and the things that he told them. And Jack is like, I just don't understand how they found out that Riley had mentioned Hysam's name. It's just not adding up. And I know that Riley had told me before she left that you had talked to them. She was under the impression that you had been telling me the same thing you had been telling her all week, which was that he threw himself on the mercy of the other side of the house so that if they got HOH this coming week, that they wouldn't be gunning for her, Riley or him. So Jack confronted him about it, and he's like, look, dude, we're supposed to be in an alliance. And it just really hurt me that you would go out and you would be talking to the other house guests about what we discussed behind closed doors. Of course, then it turns, cameras go off of him. So we don't get to hear how the rest of that conversation developed. Paramount's been doing that a lot. The feeds have been cutting a lot just when there's good conversation going on. We did not get to see Miss Felicia get her HOH room. They cut during that. It came back on briefly and showed a couple of things that she had in her basket. But when she went to read her letter, they cut the feeds again. So there's certain things that they're not letting us see that they normally do as live feeders let us see. I mean, that's what we pay for the subscription for. I've been dealing with insurance companies, can you tell? So they're cutting the feeds on a regular basis, and it's starting to get pretty freaking annoying. So evidently with the HOH, winning the HOH, you also got some sort of punishment. And it sounds like Miss Felicia has to pick somebody to go with her every time they call, and whoever is with her and her gets slimed. I don't know how many times they're going to have to do this. Mention was made that there was 7 sets of towels that had gotten set out, so they think they're going to have to do it 7 times. I know one of them did come during the nomination ceremony today, and she wasn't too happy about that because she'd gotten all dressed up for that and had a nice outfit on and got slimed in it. Hysam saying, he wants to be supportive, but he doesn't want to get slimed. Other people are saying, I don't mind doing it. It's part of the experience. You can pick me. I won't get mad at you. So pretty much everybody's been volunteering. Alright. Felisa tells Izzy that she's going to put up Jag and Blue. Izzy didn't push the envelope. She just said okay, agreed with her, whatever. But then Felicia goes downstairs and Suri comes up, and Izzy immediately tells her, hey, she's talking about putting up Jag and Blue. And Suri said, what'd you say? And she said, I didn't say anything. I didn't feel like I needed to push her. And Suri said, well, I'll come right out and ask her. Said if she brought it up to you, she'll bring it up to me, and I'm just going to tell her that, there's no reason to put a female up on the block, that a male has to go home this week. And all the pros and cons to putting Cameron and Jag up. Suri says that Cameron has to be on the block, that he has a better chance of winning the veto and pulling himself off the block than Blue does. And she said, you know, number one, we've got the guys outnumbered right now, especially if a guy goes home this week. We'll have the numbers for the girls, and we might be able to do an all-girls thing. You know, it's never worked out in the past, but we're different people and we can make it work, and so there's no sense in risking putting Blue up when there's so many guys that they can choose to put on the block. And Miss Felicia says that makes sense. I didn't think about it that way. You're right. It's got to be Cameron and Jack, and I'll just tell Cameron he's a pawn and explain to him what's going on, and he'll be fine with it. Felicia talks to Matt, and she tells Matt that he's not going up on the block. No way that she would ever do that to him. And he says same to her. You know, he would never jeopardize her game like that. All right, the next one to come in and talk is America. And they talk about Heisem and how he acted last week. And the fact that they think that they can get him to throw the veto because he's already won 3 competitions. So they're feeling confident that they can say, hey, look, dude, you know, you're starting to raise some flags because you've won all these competitions, and maybe it's best you just lay back and let us handle it this week and not put a bigger target on your back, yada, yada, yada. Make him feel comfortable. Make him feel like there's nothing in the world going on, and therefore he's not going to fight for that veto. Because if he gets even an inkling that anything's going on and he gets to play in that veto, he's going to win it. So, Felicia tells America to tell Cameron to come on in because she's got to tell him that he's going to be used as a pawn this week. And America said, is that the plan for Jag too? And Felicia said, no, Jag ain't no damn pawn. I'm just putting his ass up on the block. I love that one. I really do. I like the dynamic between her and Suri. Sorry guys, my allergies are giving me fits tonight. If I sound a little stopped up, I apologize. That and the fact that I can't quit yawning. So evidently, Thursday, Jag waited until right before the speech, or they went live or whatever, to tell the house guest that Suri and Izzy and Felicia had flipped the house and that they were actually going to vote out Cameron until they got scared of Heisem and changed their vote back to evict Riley. That they were trying to flip the entire house to get Riley to stay. So evidently that little bit of tidbit came out sometime Thursday before the live eviction show. So everybody's pretty pissed off about that. That's why everyone is so mad at Jag. I was trying to figure out, because they just kept saying what he did yesterday, what he did yesterday. And I was like, what the hell did he do yesterday? But then Felicia went into further discussion about it. That's why she was putting him on the block. Was because of what he did, and that the nerve of him to do something like that. He was just lying, trying to do whatever he could do to save Riley, and yada, yada, yada. So Cameron comes in, and Miss Felicia tells him that he's going to be the pawn this week, and that she feels like he has a better chance to win the veto than anybody else, and she wants to make sure he's playing in the veto, and tells him the plan to backdoor Heisem. I don't know if it was such a good idea to let him know about the plan, but Miss Felicia felt like that he would try harder to win it if he knew what the actual plan was. And of course, he starts trying to talk her out of it right away. He's like, well, what are you going to tell Heisem? Because he's going to be curious as to why I'm getting put on the block. Why is it not Matt and Jag, which are the two strongest players on the other side of the house? He's going to want to know, and you're going to set off some alarm bells with him. I'm just telling you. And immediately starts trying to tell Felicia how. To me, it was almost as if he was threatening Felicia with Heisem without coming out and saying it. But she stuck to her guns. She said, nope, you're going up on the block. He says that he'll do whatever it takes for the team, that he's already proved he's a team player. And I'm like, I don't know how he's proved he's a team player, because he switched teams midway and spilled the beans about everybody in the alliance. That's not a team player. But whatever. That guy just sketches me out. Just something about him I don't like. So he tries his best to talk her into not putting him up. Well, then, next thing you know, it's Heisem's turn to come in. And right away, he's pushing for Matt and Jag. And Felicia's like, no, I'm not putting Matt up. And he's telling her, well, you know, you need to put Matt up, because if he wins the power of veto, he's going to take Jag off, because, you know, they have, how did he put it? They have that whole disabilities thing going on between them. And Miss Felicia's like, huh? It's like, well, you know, Matt's got the disability with the hearing or whatever, and Jag used to do Special Olympics, put on the Special Olympics or whatever. So they have that bond. So, you know, he's going to take him down if he gets the chance to do so. And she said, no, I really don't think that he would do that. And Heisem said, okay, so what happens if Jag wins the video and he takes himself off? And she said, well, I guess then I would put up Matt. Well, now, I don't know if that's a good idea, he said, because if you put Matt up as a replacement nominee, you're going to cause some bad feelings. You're going to cause some harsh feelings. And I'm like, so putting him up on the block initially is not going to cause any harsh feelings? But putting him up as a replacement will? Bullshit. Heisem talks out both sides of his mouth a lot. My sister watches Big Brother, and she won't watch any of my videos because she doesn't like the spoiler. She waits till after the show's aired, and then she'll come back and watch my videos. So I called her tonight about something, and she said she was catching up on Big Brother. And she's like, man, that Heisem guy's an asshole. He's so condescending. Now, mind you, she doesn't know anything about the live feeds. She hasn't heard anything about the live feeds. The only thing she watches is the show. So she's a casual. She just watches the show. So even, I guess, if you're not seeing the unedited, or if you're seeing the edited version, the watered down version, he still comes across as an asshole. I just thought that was kind of funny. So then he starts saying that Blue is the weakest of the three, Jag, Matt, and Blue. And that she is the weakest of the three. So she needs to put up Matt and Jag to be the noms. And Felicia's like, well, let me think about it, and I'll decide what I'm going to do from there, whatever. So the next person she talks to is Blue. And she asks Blue right out who she trusts in the game. And Blue lays out her whole game plan, basically, to Miss Felicia. So Felicia tells her about the plan to backdoor Heisem. And she's all for it. She's all over it. Yep, I'll help it any way I can. Yada, yada, yada. And then the feed's cut. Of course, and we miss the whole rest of the conversation. Oh, damn it, CBS, Paramount. I don't know who the hell runs the live feeds, but whoever it is, we are 2 weeks in, and I already want to break someone's freaking fingers. Like, stop pushing the buttons. Oh, Lord. So then it comes back on, and Felicia's talking with Jag. And she's already told him that she's going to put him up. And he says, well, how did you come to that conclusion that you were going to put me up? You know, what help did you have coming to that conclusion? And she explains to him that him and Cameron have a better shot of winning the veto coming down, so she can Heisem as her main target. And Jack said, well, what if Heisem wins the veto and takes Cameron off, then what? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Felicia kind of got stumbled up on that a little bit. So Jag was asking some good questions, but he ultimately, what's he going to do? He's going to go on the block. He's going to fight for the veto. So the nominees are made now. And the nominees for the week are Cameron and Jag. So Miss Felicia did exactly what she wanted to do. Not what Heisem wanted her to do, not what Cameron wanted her to do, and not what Jag wanted her to do. She did what she wanted to do. So after the nominations are made, it shows Cameron and Heisem talking in the scary room. And Heisem's telling Cameron that he is 1,000% sure that Jag is the target for the week. No doubt about it, he knows Jag pissed off Felicia by lying on her name, and that he 1,000% knows that Jag is the target for the week. Hopefully it stays that way, because I want to see him get blindsided. I'm sorry, I do. I just, the way that he treated Riley, like, it was enough to know, okay, you're up there. You've already told me in private that I'm your target. But now you're going to stand up in front of the whole house and in front of America and just dig in deeper that she's his target. And a lot of people didn't like that. So it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Cameron is playing the dumb part good with Heisem. Heisem said, so who do you think Jag will pick if he gets house guest choice? And Cameron says Blue. And he said, really? He said, I would have thought that he would pick Matt, because Matt's a better competitor than Blue. And Cameron said, yeah, but you never know what kind of challenges Matt's going to face, what kind of challenge they're having, if it's something that's going to have to do with hearing again or something to that effect. So he's like, you never know what challenges Matt's going to face, and if you want to assure that someone's going to be able to play for you and play hard, then it would be Blue. And they start talking about the bed situation. I guess they changed some beds around since Heisem's not HOH anymore, and Red and Matt in America are all upstairs in the half-knot room, so you know they switch beds. So they're talking about that, and they're talking about the different beds and the styles. Heisem likes sleeping on the floor, so he was saying that the one bed of Riley's that was rock hard would be perfect for him. And somebody said, I thought you were taking America's bed. And he said, oh no. He said, have you seen her sheets? He's like, her sheets are completely brown and she has her hair everywhere. Alright. Damn it, Cameron cannot keep his mouth shut to save his flippin' life. He's done went and told Red what the plan was. Felicia and Izzy and Sari purposely kept him out of the loop because they know that he's been close with Haisam, and they didn't want him tipping his hat to Haisam and Haisam getting wind of this before they played the veto. But he's in there telling Red everything, saying, you're my number one. I don't have anybody in this game except for my chill Billy. I guess that's what he's calling Red. That's what Red calls himself. I don't have anybody in this game but my chill Billy. And I just couldn't go on without letting you know what the game plan was. Even though they said don't tell you. And plays it off like they didn't want you to know, but I'm going to tell you. But they didn't want you to know because they were protected. So he's putting all these flipping doubts in Red's head that don't need to be there. But he's putting them there. He's planting those little seeds. He can't keep his mouth shut. So now Red's Larry wanting to know why they didn't trust him enough to tell him. And he's downstairs talking to Izzy about it now. And Izzy's like, look, probably the only reason she told Cameron is because she's using him as a pawn. And she wanted to make sure to soften the blow a little bit as to why she was putting him on the block. And it wasn't necessarily that she was leaving you out. She didn't tell everybody what her plans were. Yada, yada, yada. So Izzy's trying to do damage control from Cameron's big freaking mouth. While this is going on, Haisam and Blue are on the couch in the living room, and Blue is playing up the broken-hearted, sad friend to the hilt. And Haisam's in there comforting her, trying to comfort her. It'll be okay. I know when Jag goes home, just know that I'm still going to be here for you. And she's almost in tears. I mean, she is playing it up hard. She's a good actress. And when Cameron was talking to Red, the way that he just lies so easily, it just flows out of his mouth like butter. Just as smooth. That man is a very deceitful man in his real life, I would have to say, in my opinion. In my opinion. Because he lies just quickly. He can come up with something off the top of his head so fast. And I'm like, he's a professional liar. This is not his first rodeo. Felicia, Miss Felicia, she cracks me up. She's talking to Suri and Izzy, and I don't remember who else was in there, but she said, I'm going to let everybody know, after 9 p.m., I ain't talking with no effing body. You don't get to bring your ass up here all night. Once we eat dinner, conversations are over. So I guess she's fixing to lay down a law for them as to when they can and can't come to her room. Which is hilarious. She is so stinking cute. I think right now, if America had to pick a favorite player, And I am going to say if Suri wasn't in the house, because I think Suri is so well known from Survivor that she would have an unfair advantage over everybody else. Sorry guys, my nose is itching off. My allergies are killing me. But I think if Suri wasn't in the game, that Felicia would have America's House Guests down, locked, stock, and barrel. All the way to be Miss Felicia. And it still may be. People may feel like Suri's already won too much. Who knows? So, alright. So that's where we are with the last 24 hours. I will be back on tomorrow night. Or tonight. After the veto competition is played and I see who won the veto, who got to play in it, who won it, that's such a thing. Then I'll have another video out tomorrow night. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming out. Alright guys, good night. Much love.